I'm going to pass the talking stick around. We're going to pass it over to Philo and Parker, who had joined us. And again, for those of you who maybe missed this one, they were joining us last time during our open mic broadcast, which where we were sharing like poetry and flowetry and jamming. And that was a wonderful opportunity. And Philo, me and him have we actually go back quite a few years. He's actually featured in the Journey to Lucidity 2 movie 2, the sequel for it. And he's, again, a fellow creator. He's got a book that he's written. And again, we'll pass it over to them. And Parker, a fellow conscious creator, a musician. He was featured in the in a publication on the Shift entry for his song Planet Vegan, which was like stuck in my head for like 3 days afterwards in like a good way. So we'll let them introduce a little bit more about who they are. And again, I'm super honored to be able to have them here. And for anybody listening, be sure to check out the show notes and the YouTube chat, and we'll post some links there so that you can stay connected with all the members that you get to meet during this broadcast. So guys, go ahead and unmute your microphone and use this as a chance to just tell people what you do, plug your stuff, promote what you're up to, and we'll just go around the circle once, and then we'll pass it back to you to share a little bit in terms of updates that you would like to bring to the table. So go right ahead when you're ready.
Cool. Well, happy Thursday, everyone watching now and in the future. Happy Thursday, Jenna, if you're still watching, our friend from Pittsburgh, Peaceburg. It's nice to meet you, Sam, digitally. Yeah, we're actually sitting at a round table, believe it or not, right now. So check out that round table. We actually just had a great brainstorm, heartstorm session, the two of us and our other friend Kate, who was on the previous broadcast. And we were just setting some goals and kind of mapping out the next 3 and 6 months of what we're working on bringing into the world. So yeah, my name's Philo Lila, also known as Kevin May. And as Brendan mentioned, I've written 2 books. One's called Unlocking Our Superpowers. The other one's called The New Earth is Here, and they're both pretty fun. I probably have a copy with me. I could grab one in a minute. But yeah, I also helped found an organization called Team Pachamama. We're a nonprofit that's based here in Pittsburgh, and we do a lot of small festivals and events around important social and environmental issues. And we've done at least 5 or 6 awesome events this year. And we just got back from Resonance, which is a huge music and arts festival up in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. It had at least 4,000 people, probably more like 8,000. And we'll share a little bit more from that in a minute. But yeah, it's good to connect with you all in this virtual roundtable. Pass it off to Parker here.
Yo. I guess we're just doing introductions now. So my name is Parker Webb, aka Fungi. And just basically at this point right now, I'm just focused on music. And that was the medicine that I had to offer at Resonance, the festival that we both got the pleasure of being able to attend. I had a set with my friend Gregory Bogard. Prior to us performing together, we traveled around Germany, Austria, different places in Europe, and busked in the streets, just basically earning a living as street musicians in a foreign place. And we got a lot of good response. And so we decided to take our set to Resonance, and it turned out really well. We got some footage of that. So maybe whenever we finish creating this video that we're working on now, we can link y'all to that. As Brendan mentioned, I created Planet Vegan earlier this year. That was just a way to basically bring light to the option of being able to eat vegan and have a diet that is high vibrational and also and harmonious with the planet. And so it's just a way of having fun with eating food. And so you can check that out. We have that linked as well. So yeah, just as Brendan said, conscious MC, and just here to offer my music. And yeah, since we can dive into Resonance whenever that doorway's open. So yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you again, everyone, for being back. And yeah, no, that's exciting. I'm excited to, again, just be able to get the updates, because that's kind of the way how, things work here within this social media world, is that there's a lot that each and every single one of us has going on just from week to week. And, Buddha knows that we can't just like see everyone's feed all the time, and sometimes there's stuff happening that's not even getting posted online and everything like that. And that's like when like a lot of like the most magical stuff is happening, is the fact that like, you know, when the cameras are off. So again, part of the intention here, and we'll get into this as we share more of our kind of like, you know, behind the lens updates, is being able to remind ourselves, and for everybody here, that we document things with our heart first and foremost, and that is very, very important. And so knowing that, again, you know, Philo and Parker, they went to this amazing transformational festival, it's like, yeah, like we might not be seeing footage of it and everything now, but this is the practice that we are doing here as a community, to practice, you know, sharing this documentation, to archive this, so that, you know, we can create this episode, create this podcast, and say like, this is where we were at this moment in time as we continue to move forward. And again, as we continue to move forward, thinking and asking the question, what is needed, but also, you know, part of what I wanted to be able to talk here tonight, just be able to open up that discussion as we move forward, is what are the tactics that we can utilize to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness, you know, like talking things tactically and be like, here's what's working, here's like, you know, things I'm learning, here's like things that you can do too. So we'll get more into that. Before we get there, we're going to pass the talking stick over to Parker and Philo, who again, they were in the recent attendance for the Resonance Festival, which is a transformational festival. And, you know, we can even just use this as a chance to just kind of talk about, you know, why are transformational festivals even important to begin with. And transformational festivals have played a very, very pivotal role within my journey, obviously inspiring me to be able to create full-length movies about it, which are the Journey to Lucidity movies. And for those of you who just want to be able to get an experience of a transformational festival, go ahead and YouTube search Journey to Lucidity, and you'll find both of them, but they are both on my channel at Skull Babylon and on the main Paradigm Shift Central website. And so again, these are festivals that are created most of the time. The people who are managing these, they've been going through their own process of awakening, and this is about being able to help create sacred space for people to be able to celebrate this journey of awakening through art and music and dance and connection. So this is about being able to bring it back to the roots and really bring it back to the fireplace and really be able to connect in some very meaningful ways. And yeah, with that said, we'll pass it back over to Parker and Philo, who are going to give us a little bit of the documented experience of what the Resonance Festival was like for them. So when you're ready, go right ahead.
Cool, thank you. So yeah, Resonance Festival, I believe this was the 6th annual, and it was up in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour north of Pittsburgh, where we live. And I actually have not been to a festival in like an overnight camping festival since 3 Days of Light back in 2016, which Parker and I that, and I actually made a video there, which maybe I could post in the chat or something. But anyways, it was great to return to the festival environment. And when you camp overnight for multiple days at a festival, that's when you really like sink into this whole kind of culture and community that you find there, where people just generally tend to be more open and free spirited and just less judgmental and stressed out than in regular society. And the difference between a regular music festival and a transformational festival is that the Transformational Festival has the intention of having more of a holistic model of like, you know, they were very sure to have like recycling and you know, a lot of healthy food options, vegan, vegetarian options. Many of the places had compostable cups. I was actually a vendor there, and I was selling chia pudding, and I was using compostable cups. And the reason why I haven't been to the festivals in the last few years is what Brandon mentioned as I was writing this book, which is called Unlocking Our Superpowers. And this book is basically like how to integrate, it's 246 pages. It's kind of like how to integrate all of the wisdom from the festival environment into like day-to-day life. So as far as like living a permaculture lifestyle, like Sam was explaining on the farm, and reconnecting with nature. There's a whole chapter about healing and stuff. And so I was selling my books at the festival, and it was really cool to like take 3 years off from festival world and go back into it and have like something meaningful to share with people. So like a lot of people came up, and I would let them like flip open to a random page. And it's really amazing how usually they always flip to a page that applies to something that's happening in their life. So it was really fun to do that. And I also filmed a whole variety of footage from the festival, which I just posted the video in the YouTube chat box. It's like a 3-minute video that just shows they had an amazing, diverse range of visionary artists there who are just phenomenal doing live painting and really like bringing the imaginary world into the physical through their painting. And I believe you can have like a psychedelic experience just by looking at these paintings and like meditating. So it's cool to like meet a lot of those artists. And you know, they had workshops. They had this thing called the Jelly Dome, which I also made a video in. It's like this big geodesic dome with swings where everyone can just like swing around. There's like 10 swings in it, and everyone's listening to music. And we were just thinking, like, what if every town in the world had like a nice jelly dome in their park where people could go and hang out and just enjoy life, not have to like pay money to see a show or something, just like a free public arena. So, anyways, Resonance was phenomenal, and I really do feel like it galactivated us, to use a term from our friend David Weber. And there was phenomenal music. I mean, you could check out the website. There was like hundreds of different musicians there. So yeah, it was phenomenal. You want to share?
And I feel like for me, like really when you talk about a transformational festival, what stands out in the difference between any other festival is the container that they hold. And you could feel the intention. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been to countless festivals. Actually, I used to make a habit out of sneaking into festivals a lot when I was younger, and I've been to, I can't even count how many festivals. And it's such a difference between like something like Bonnaroo and like something like Resonance. You know, like one of them feels like very corporate. Like there's still a lot of magic. There's still some amazing performances and some life-changing experiences to be had. But the energy is almost like stale. It's almost like the container, in a sense, is sort of like watching like a channel on TV, and is very much like you're kind of in this box in a way. You know what I'm saying? But the container, a transformational festival like Resonance, it feels like the space is being held for you to be able to create. You know, it feels co-creative. And so I think the atmosphere welcomes us to all share our gifts in a collaborative way. And the way that I came into the festival was through my friend Samantha, who runs a booth called Consensual Consciousness. And to me and my fam, and to a lot of people that came to the festival, that was like an anchoring point, like a real like solid root into the ground that was sending its light up above and kind of like calling in all the people who also felt a similar calling to share their gifts. And one of the most magical things that happened in this booth, which is just primarily focused on like selling different artists' goods and coming together in a way to have an outlet for different artists and vendors to express themselves, kind of like transformed and evolved even more one night into us doing a collective sound healing, which was super magical. We were putting out a lot of good vibrations, and people were walking by late at night when the music had ended, and we're kind of just randomly joining our circle with their own instruments, or at least just stopping by to kind of listen in. We had probably like 10 or 20 people going with the singing bowls and every instrument you could think of, you know, flutes, drums, everything. And we were just like really putting out the sound healing love. So, you know, for me, it's like, it's about the sound healing. It's about the music being a medicine. And a lot of the artists that showed up at Resonance, such as Sat Song, I feel like they share a similar intention, a similar vision of everything that's expressed for it to be healing, inspiring. And when you have artists like that coming through where their visions are in alignment with the visions of the festival, then I think that's where the real magic happens. So yeah, I mean, seeing Sat Song, getting to perform myself on stage was huge for me. Collaborating with Consensual Consciousness, hanging out with Philolila over here, watching him do his thing with giving out the books, which is a super potent medicine.
Also,
And the
activating people with these, the octopus body massagers. Most people think it only works on the head, but we give like a full body activation where you go down the shoulders and the back. And these things can literally release like 20 pounds of energetic stress in like a minute. And we probably gave out like 300 or 400 massages over the weekend with these, and people are loving them. And yeah, it's
Just
fun time.
explain.
yeah, so it's just beautiful to watch how a lot of people react, and it's like
that's right. Sorry, I was just gonna say for the people who are just listening to audio, tell them what you're holding because I don't think the context was there.
Yeah. So we'll make a little noise here. This are called Octopus Body Massagers. They're small handheld massagers that look kind of like a whisk that you like would make a recipe with, but they're made of aluminum and they have like little gel tips. So it kind of looks like an octopus. It's got like 8 or 10 little prongs, and you can like massage your head and your body, and it feels very relaxing, but it's also like an energetic activation, kind of like clears out stagnant energy. So yeah, we sell these and we love them. We love to just give out free massages. So fun times.
Yeah, it was really good just watching how all the people were activated by something simple as like a little octopus massager, you know. And Philo dealing out the chia pudding goodness as well, which kept us all fueled and hydrated throughout the weekend. And yeah, just, you know, just to be able to be there with family and roll into a place I don't know who I'm gonna see, and then I show up and it's like it feels like a giant family reunion. The real medicine to come together with friends, family, and just share an experience. And also wanted to just echo the importance of being able to camp out and spend a few days, because from what I've seen, at least personally, like, you know, you come to a festival space, you know, you're kind of still getting like your feet wet a little bit, still kind of like dipping your toes in for the first day, even maybe the second day. But by the third day, like it's just, especially, you know, after some of the shows that happen late night, like it's a full activation. And then taking that activation energy, now you're at your full potential. Now you want to express. Now it's like, well, what do I have to give back? And then whenever that share happens, it's just a beautiful thing. So yeah, I can always dive into that infinitely. And also right after that, this past weekend, I went to Interwoven, which was another pretty cool little event. And I could touch base more on that if you want. But yeah, I think that about wraps up the resonance experience for the most part. And yeah, I think the last thing I really wanna point out, which stuck with me the whole weekend, was the importance of the name, because people were constantly repeating that name over and over through the weekend. And so if the name of the festival was Joe Eats Hot Dogs, you know, everybody's like, yo, have a happy Joe Eats Hot Dogs. And everyone's thinking about, you know, just going to eat hot dogs. Like that, those words don't really like resonate per se. But with a word like resonance, where the meaning inside of it is actually like the resonance that you feel from the vibrations of the words, and it meaning like we're resonating together, like we're vibing together, like we're in harmony. To keep repeating that over and over and be under that container with that name, that was huge. And I think the people who created it really knew that, and it's a powerful thing. So props to them and everyone who came out and performed, everyone who helped make it possible. And yeah, just looking forward to watching these kind of things continue, because, you know, that's rippling out into the whole entire world. Just that small you know, beam of love is rippling out in the waters of this ocean of this creation that we're in. And I could feel it, and I know everyone else could feel it, even if it's bit by bit. We're making a shift. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. It's awesome. Thank you, Parker, and thank you, Philo. Yeah, I did want to just kind of take a moment here to just talk a little bit more about transformational festivals, and even just kind of like ask you two specifically, what do you feel you bring back with you from these festivals, be it resonance or more so in general? And also, you know, like what can, if you're just kind of trying to sell people on the idea of maybe they've never been to a transformational festival, now this is going to start get them thinking. Because I think with the transformational festivals, we have to be able to look at feeding our soul these experiences almost like an investment. Like you're investing in yourself. It's not like you're literally just going there just for a party or just for a getaway or a vacation or something like that. I mean, the same way that we know it's like, you know, if you were to take a week and just go camping and disconnect in nature, like that in itself has been clinically proven to like reset certain aspects of our awareness and of our body and just be able to help give us more clarity. And so with these festivals for you and Sam, I'm not entirely sure if there's anything you want to jump in on this, or even just kind of from because again, I'm not sure how many festivals you've been to, but obviously you've been involved with events, and it's a community event in itself, which is powerful. So again, you know, like kind of from that, just focusing on that question, what do you feel you bring back with you after you go to these events? And to set that up, I did just want to actually read out a comment from in the live chat from Paper Druid, and this is actually really cool because Paper Druid, who's one of our regular people who kind of tune in every now and then, they were actually at Resonance as well. So like I literally told them like, yo, like these guys are talking about Resonance, like you might want to be able to tune into this. And they said specifically about Resonance, it was deeply healing and incredibly inspiring. I had such a magical time. And so Paper Druid, if there's anything else that you want to share related to your experience, absolutely please feel free. And for anybody else here in the chat, again, this is a team discussion. Let us know, how have transformational festivals served you? Or if you've never been to one, what are your thoughts on them? Would you be open to going to one? And what about the idea kind of like feels exciting to you? And I do think even just that very notion of, and I remember this feeling as well, when I went to 3 Days of Light, which was my first transformational festival, it very much is this like family reunion. And I think for a lot of people who may not have that tribe in the physical location where they are, to suddenly be around like hundreds of people who are in that shared vibration, who are in that same mindset, it can be such a beautiful thing. Like I know for some people, and I'll just say this and pass it over, some people, they will go to a festival like this and it will be the first time ever that they have ever experienced this degree of love, like that kind of love. There's like, oh my God, like this, like I'm like 25 years old, or maybe I'm 35 years old, you know, and I have never experienced this amount of love all in one place, all at one time. And that can be very transformational, you know, like on like a deep, deep spiritual level for people. So for you two personally, what do you feel with this festival you brought back, you know, like how by the time you went in and by the time you left, what changed, what shifted, you know, within your self-awareness, and, you know, focusing in on just like the inspiration that you brought back with you. So go ahead. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, dude, the first time I started going to festivals, it was like I had to like acclimate my whole system to all the like love that was coming in. I had to like take off my armor basically, because growing up in the city, like being like a bro in the like mainstream culture, I like built up this armor that was like, I can't express love in different ways and whatnot. So it's like these festivals help you to like slowly like kind of soften your armor and just like be open to other people in different ways. And yeah, so I do want to say I highly recommend, and Brendan, this is really cool news. This phenomenal film series called the Bloom series just reactivated, and they have been documenting transformational festivals all around the world with like a super pro film crew. And they had this whole series going like 5 years ago, and then like they ran into some issues and they stopped for like the last 5 years. And literally like 2 days ago, I got an email that like they're back running in business. And anyone watching this that's like slightly interested in transformational festivals, like please check this out. Just search the Bloom series on YouTube, and then you can find their actual website where they have like these full length kind of documentaries about it. But like it's so inspiring, it's insane. So yeah, like me personally, this
sorry,
really
Phil, I
activated.
actually just wanted to, sorry, I just wanted to jump in there on the Bloom series because I just to share in the excitement, like, yeah, like, for anybody here, literally just YouTube search the Bloom and we post the link in the chats. But like, I just want to give a quick shout out of gratitude because we personally know a lot of people that are like involved with some of the production team behind that, you know, like I think of I know like Akira Chan has been involved, you know, people like Mickey Willis, I know he's like partly involved, but there's like a whole team of people out on the East Coast that have dedicated a huge part of their life. And again, like it's not just a documentary on the festivals, but it's like it's a chronicling of our journey as consciousness, and it's a visceral experience, again similar to what I intended to do with the Journey to Lucidity movies. But like, oh man, like seriously, if you're looking to like cry in the best ways possible and you've never been to a transformational festival, absolutely, like check out the Bloom. And I wanted to say it was a bloom.net, but I think it's that but we'll get, yeah, just type in the Bloom,
The Bloom.tv.
the bloom.tv is the actual website, so we'll make sure we add that into the show notes, and consider that like your, you know, your little like gift for yourself after this broadcast. If you haven't yet, watch that, and watch it as a meditation, watch it as like medicine. So yeah, and I think the word medicine is a very powerful word that resonates with what these festivals are accomplishing and serving. So Philo, sorry to interrupt, but go ahead, passing back to you.
So yeah, I mean, to be honest, this was the first time I was vending at a festival, like officially, like selling products. And I feel like there is this new economy of like conscious art and goods and services that is growing, where we can start to actually create a livelihood through, you know, there were hundreds of artists there that got paid to go there and do live painting. And so I think like some people tend to think festivals, oh, that's like something you do on the weekend and you can't really be your lifestyle or whatever. But like there are ways of like grounding it and, you know, creating a sustainable income and life with these things. You know, the market for healthy food is like skyrocketing, and the market for just like healing experiences is skyrocketing. So like for me, it was just like showing the importance of like these are profoundly healing tools, and like I love sharing it with people. And like I can literally see goosebumps get on people's arms in like 5 seconds with these things. And like for anyone at home that might have one, like I encourage you to play with it more and like find ways. Like these can literally heal trauma. They've helped me to heal my PTSD and like getting out of fight or flight response. So it's really powerful. And I was also selling my books, which like this book, I have it on Amazon if you search Unlocking Our Superpowers or Philolila. This is literally like after 10 years of going to all these festivals, this book is like how to bring it into your day-to-day life in a very like practical way. And I have the whole book online as well, which you can check out on teampachamama.net. It's just like chapter by chapter on there. And like, you know, I put it out there for free. If people want to support me back, cool. But like this, it's not like I own this. It's meant to be shared with the whole world. So that was really cool. And just like, you know, I got so much encouragement from people like, please keep doing what you're doing. So it's very like reaffirming to me that like, you know, I am supposed to keep doing this, and like all of us have this important role to play. And, you know, this is way more important than all the bullshit that's happening. I mean, you know, like it just reaffirms that like the new paradigm we're creating is very real and it is very important. And it's not just some like weird little trend or some like bullshit on the side. Like it's very powerful. So that's what I got from it. You want to go?
I definitely feel like one of the most important things that he said that stands out is the fact that we can make this a living. You know what I mean? This doesn't have to be like some weekend warrior thing. If you want to, you can step into the place where you're totally supporting yourself just by hopping festival to festival. So just knowing that that is an option for anybody who wants to step into that, I think it's super empowering. Because a lot of us come into the festival, we feel so much love, and it's like, wow, I'm in the 5D, like I'm in heaven on earth, and then you're back to society, you're back to Babylon, you're back to your 9 to 5, and it kind of deflates, you know what I'm saying? So we don't have to ride this crazy wave. You know, I'm used to riding that wave. We don't have to do that. We can stay up here. So to know that that's possible is a beautiful thing. Yeah, just something I wanted to touch on, which is one of the most important things for me, the Transformational Festival. You're talking about what I brought back with me. Knowing that what we're stepping into is a ceremony, you know? This is not just a concert a recreational activity, a place to do a bunch of drugs and have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you treat it like a ceremony, then you're gonna get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's everything in life. You treat it with meaning, with purpose. The amount that you give is the amount that you're gonna get back. Okay. So for me, one of the biggest moments was whenever Satsang kind of shut his set down, and was just like listen, like, what's your intention? Like, what do you want to get out of this? And he proceeded to do like a very small little ceremony of clearing that energy. And all together collectively, we like took a breath and like imagine this ball of like everything that we don't want and all the energies that like we don't want to hold on to anymore. And like we all like imagined it and like balled it up, and then like collectively all as one, like together, like raised it above our heads, and then like with a big giant scream, we all like shot it up into the air and released it, and like did this huge transmutation thing, and just purified a lot of energies that were not aligned, so that we can move forward in a good way without all the weight, so that we can open ourselves to the spirit that wants to come fill us. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I set the intention coming into the festival of, you know, may all that does not serve me in my highest good dissolve and be purified. May I move forward in a way in which my vessel is open and empty for spirit to flow through. Anything that's getting out of the way or getting in the way of that, then, you know, please let me see it, let me know it, let me understand it, and let me let it go with love. And so sets like Satsang and the collective sound healing and everything we did, especially the performance I gave, being able to express from my heart and being able to give my medicine, that really allowed for that healing to happen. And so it really is a healing event. It really is a healing experience whenever we set those intentions and treat it like a ceremony.
And, you know, one of the things that I've taken from these festivals is that they really inspired me to be able to bring events to my community, such as the Paradigm Shift meetups, where we do open-minded discussion meditation circles, but in particular, also like things like ecstatic dance, you know, ecstatic dance gatherings, sound healing ceremonies. These are things that I'm still feeling very much called to do, because again, it's kind of like creating like the vibration of these festival experiences, the intention of these festival experience, but you do them in just like a, you know, like a 2-hour kind of event in a single night. And sometimes, like, that's the thing, like for a lot of people, they can't necessarily just like go to a festival. They might not have that luxury, so to speak. But for us as leaders, how do we bring the festival back into our cities, back into our communities? And, you know, I know, again, Parker and Philo, you guys definitely have experience with this, with creating, you know, a variety of events. So yeah, again, kind of with the intention where how do we as leaders, you know, kind of answer the call, what is needed in terms of what we take from the festival and how we integrate it back into our society. If you guys have any thoughts on that or just anything else that you want to say, by all means, go right ahead.
Yeah. Well, first, Sam, I just want to say, do you know of the Chapel of Sacred Mirrors, Alex and Allison Gray's art ranch area? Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. You're not the first person to tell me about it.
I'm pretty sure it's in upstate New York. I would highly recommend checking out how close you are to it, because they have a wide variety of events every single week, and they're having a huge Halloween party that I'm actually considering going to. It's like 7-hour drive from Pittsburgh. I imagine it's probably less than 2-hour drive. The tickets are only $40 a piece, and this place is such like a mecca of, you know, transformational culture. I highly recommend checking it out. But yeah, I think ecstatic dance is a great way to like integrate the festival experience into a local environment. We have ecstatic dance pretty much every week here in Pittsburgh with different facilitators, which big gratitude to everyone who holds space for that. And, you know, sound healing experiences are great. And one thing I think is cool is just like outdoor, I call them semi-spontaneous gatherings, where it's just like a bunch of friends gather in like a local park. Everyone brings a little bit of food to share, and you could set up like a Slack line. If you've ever seen the Slack lines, those are a great way to just have like a cool interactive activity. You can also do like acro yoga, juggling, or different flow arts like poi, things like that, just to like get in that non-linear space. Because I feel like that's what, like, mainstream society, everything's like, linear, on the clock, do everything like in kind of a linear focus. And festival vibes and like these other experiences get you into like a flow state where you're integrating more like kind of circular spiral flowing energy. So doing different activities in your own life, just like poi or dancing, things that get you out of like that linear rational mind, is very, very healing, and a great simple way to like integrate that experience. And what else did I want to say? Just like sharing inspiring information, keeping up with different Facebook pages. Like on our Team Pachamama page, we try to post lots of inspiring videos and stories and music. Music is a huge one, a way to like constantly be intaking music that inspires you and uplifts you and speaks to your soul, rather than like the mainstream crap that's on the radio. That's one way to integrate the festival experience. In the back of my book, which I could also post the link to the part online, I have like a list of all my favorite conscious musicians like Trevor Hall, Satsang, Medicine for the People, like all these different cool musicians that are kind of telling the story of this new paradigm.
I think the question of how to bring this medicine to the people is one of the most important, especially people who may not have the privilege to be able to attend. And we even had this discussion at the Interwove event that I was at recently. And, long story short, I think it kind of comes down to, in the end, of just like being the light. You integrate with this no matter how long it takes. But, we're all on this journey of remembering who we are. And as we continue to interact with different pieces of ourselves, different reflections, and integrate with the medicines of those pieces of the puzzle, then we kind of like are able to build a more understanding, like what we resonate with and what we don't. And so as we integrate this medicine and recapitulate and start to remember more of who we are through these containers of these transformational festivals and these things that we are doing in our community, then we're able to be of more of a light presence, and light as in like all colors of the rainbow, fully integrated, fully showing up, having to adjust our shadows. And what I was touching on with the satsang thing and setting the intention for the ceremony, some of that is shadow work. You know what I mean? It's like, what may be lying underneath the surface that I'm not aware of? Like, please allow it to be shown, seen, and then transmuted, for the highest good. And so as we continue to do that work, continue to be more of the light that we want to bring, then it's really just like it happens automatically. We don't even really have to do too much. We just have to continue to keep doing our inner work, and it kind of just seemingly reflects outward. It's like a chain reaction, And so I go there, I set the ceremony, set the intention, do the work, come back, ground it out, integrate, and then things just come into play. Like somebody might message me like, hey, what do you think about doing this idea? What do you think about having this community gathering? How do you feel about hosting a freestyle cipher thing? I don't even have to really think too much. Just kind of like allow the messages to come, allow the inspiration to come through, kind of feel what resonates in terms of the opportunities that open up, and then hop on whatever is in alignment. So someone reaches out like, hey, man, you spit some cool raps or resonance. How do you feel about hosting a little open mic so everybody, has an opportunity to do the same? Like, cool, that sounds great. Where do we do it? You got a spot? All right, man. So yeah, taking the medicine from the festivals, bringing them back in the communities, and then giving the people an opportunity who didn't get a chance to participate to be a part of the medicine as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Parker. And yeah, just checking in real quick. I don't want to keep you guys any longer than you're planning on staying. You guys both heading out soon, or is it just Philo, or is it both of you?
I'm probably gonna leave it. I mean, if you wanted to get on Zoom on your computer, you could do that.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna check out here in a little bit too.
Totally cool.
We're on the same
Yeah.
device, and I got some other things to attend to. I feel like
Totally cool.
this was super divine, the time that we had. And if there's any in the last questions or things to wrap it up, let's know.
Yeah, so we'll just do that real quick. If anybody has any quick questions for Parker and Philo in the chat, and I'll just kind of riff it here for a couple seconds, because again, you know, like I think one of the things that we usually talk about within the Paradigm Shift Central project is that we're encouraging people to become leaders, and specifically leaders who are creating events in their community. So again, this whole Paradigm Shift Central project, this began partly as I was in college. I created a club in my college, and it was basically just about being able to help bring people together to have open-minded discussion and meditation. And so basically, again, I just wanted to be able to check in with you guys to be able to see like what, you know, for the people out there who are listening, who are maybe even just, as we're saying this, we're starting to plant the seed to be able to, it's kind of give them the permission to help create events where they are, and what insight you might have for them if for people are starting to think about creating events. But what I was just going to say is that, you know, start simple. These events can be very, very simple with where you are. You don't have to have a lot of experience. You don't have to have, you know, a lot of expertise as you begin these events. Like again, for the model of a paradigm shift community, the basic model is again being able to encourage people to host open-minded discussion and meditation circles where people can come together. And essentially the concept is to practice talking about things related to metaphysics and spirituality. But then out of that, it can grow. And again, it's about being able to help create those portals for synchronicity, for people to come together, and there will be lives that will be changed. There will be relationships that will be created. People will meet each other there. And as you're doing this, you're building your tribe. So for anybody who's tuned into these, and maybe you're just thinking like, hey, you know, I'd love to be able to meet other like-minded people where I am, but I don't know any of them. Creating an event and then going out there and promoting it, even combining tactics like doing free hugs and connecting with people, inviting them to the event that way. Again, these are just tactics that I've commonly talked about over the years. It is possible for anybody here listening to be a facilitator and a creator for conscious events where you are, be it open-minded discussion meditation, be it some sort of special meditation event, like a sound healing event, be it some sort of like, again, maybe even just like a musical performance that you might be doing. Again, it can be an ecstatic dance event. It can be a nature, like it can be a garbage cleanup while traveling through nature. Some of the things we talk about there. So yeah, if there's any other questions, please feel free to just leave those real quick for Parker and Philo just before they have to head out. And my question is, yeah, just any additional words of wisdom for okay, there's a quick question here from 1111 Balance. What advice would you give someone before they go to their first conscious festival? So let's just focus in on that question real quick. And my question was just going to be any additional wisdom for people out there who might be thinking about, you know, creating conscious events where they are. But that first question, what advice would you give someone before they go to their first conscious festival? If you guys want to hit that up, and we'll keep this time frame within, you know, no more than 5 minutes, I would say, and then we'll be done, and we'll keep going, and go right ahead. You guys can jump in on this. So
yeah, so if you're going to a first festival, you know, I would recommend watching videos on YouTube just to get a different, multiple perspectives on people's first person experience. But just, I recommend camping out, making sure that your camp gear is waterproof, which neither me or Parker did. And we got totally soaked and drenched at Resonance, but it was fun. We survived it, and you know, everything worked out. But having a good waterproof tent setup is pretty crucial if there's even a slight chance of rain. Making sure you're going to be warm enough at night. You know, I recommend bringing your own food so you don't have to like spend all your money on the often expensive food vendors there. I recommend, you know, being brave, even if you don't know anyone, going to a festival by yourself, just like finding nice people and be friendly with them, and, you know, try and connect with people. There's, you know, I recommend a festival where they have workshops, because you can meet a lot of cool people through the workshops. I do recommend like taking a camera or video so you can, you know, share the experience with other people. I do like psychedelics are often common at transformational festivals, and I'm not anti-psychedelics at all, but I think it's very important to be very cautious with psychedelic use, especially at festivals. There's a group called Dance Safe where you can actually like test if you're gonna do MDMA or something like that, or LSD even. There's a way to like test it to make sure that it's not laced with something weird or something like that. So just being very like mindful if you are gonna do psychedelics. I personally recommend doing like a microdose type of thing at a festival because it's already like a psychedelic experience. I mean, I'm a huge fan of just being accessing non-ordinary states of consciousness without psychedelics, which you can very much experience at festivals because you can almost vicariously start feeling different energies because everyone else is tripping. But you can access. I think that's a huge message I want to share is that, and that's what I share a lot in my book. Like I don't even mention psychedelics really at all in this book. It's like all different ways you can access through yoga, breath work, healing, meditation, exercise, all these different things, cleansing, fasting, etc. So I think that just being very mindful, doing your research, and not just like diving head first and like doing something that you'll regret at a festival. Because, Parker and I both have had the experience of taking too much psychedelics at festivals and it doesn't turn out very, very happy. So that's my message for the festival. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, just to really piggyback on that last bit, I've definitely like just to be real blatant, fucked myself up pretty hardcore. Taking too much and going too deep in the wrong container at a festival, spinning out and getting delusional. That's no fun. So yeah, definitely if you want to partake, like you said, like a microdose is a really good idea. At Resonance specifically, being that my name is Fungi, I tend to partake in the fungi medicine, and the opportunity was there all 3 nights to go as deep as I wanted, but I just chose to stick with the microdose because, like Philo said, the energy is already so high, and it can be really easy to cross the line. So I think if you're gonna partake in any substances, to start really low and maybe work your way up if you want to, but tapping into like the energy, the collective energy and the music, like can give you enough high, as any other drug. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's like one of the messages for me, for anybody who's their first time coming to a festival, and this might be a projection of just the way I am, but I think it's really valid and important to just remain open. I think it's very easy to like dive too deep in the schedule, try to plan so much, like know exactly who you're going to see and what workshops you're going to, and be looking at the clock. Drop your fucking cell phone. Don't take your cell phone. Don't take your fucking cell phone. Don't wear a watch. You know what I'm saying? Like these might seem like really like, harsh, whatever, like, and a lot of people would disagree with me, suggestions. But what happens is if you let go of all those things, you're going to tune into the spirit of the festival, opening up your spirit to know exactly in which way to go. And you're going to be guided to exactly what's in the highest alignment for you, rather than what your mind thinks that you need. You open yourself up and allow in every moment for other people to send you a message, or for a bird to come and send you a message, or for maybe a feeling in your butt tells you to go to the butt massage workshop. You know what I'm saying? Like, be open, don't schedule too much, go with the flow. You've got to be open in order to go with the flow. And I could go on and on and on about first time advice, but come prepared, have your gear straight, hopefully have at least a friend that you're going to hook up with, so the buddy system and everything, because there's a lot of people you can get lost and whatever. And yeah, just be open to the magic. And like I said, it's a ceremony, so set an intention and watch the blessings manifest.
Awesome feedback and tips there. Phil, did you want to add into that, or were you just...
Well, I was going to hop to the next thing, which is just how to be a leader in your own community. I think the key is I actually, once again, I know I keep referring to my book, but this is like the external hard drive of my brain and my life pretty much. So there's a whole chapter in here about how to build conscious community, which I'll try. It's on the teampachamama.net website if you just search cultivating community. But anyways, the first key is like team up with other groups and people that are doing somewhat similar stuff. Literally, it's inevitable that there's a few people in your town that are like doing something similar. And like once you start to connect those dots, then you start to like weave this network of people that are kind of have overlapping missions in some way. And, just building friendships with people that are kind of on a similar wavelength, and then starting to host small events of any type, anything to like just bring people together. Doesn't matter if it's just a potluck. I think a potluck is a great place to start. Just be like, yo, we're having a potluck. Everybody bring some food. We'll hang out. It doesn't have to be like some huge, huge extravaganza. So I think just starting small and like keeping the consistency up, like, hey, we're going to have this monthly potluck, and it starts to gain a little bit of buzz and people talk about it. Certain things like that are really simple. And then you can work your way up to doing bigger events like we do here in Pittsburgh. We do some small festivals and stuff. And I just encourage people, like, you don't need to have any freaking credentials at all to like start building community. Like I rode my bike across America with a team of people. We visited eco villages and stuff, and we just saw people like putting solutions into action. It's like there's no fucking thing holding them back. They're like building yurts, hobbit domes and shit. It's like in society we have all this like hesitation, like, am I qualified to like start a community or do whatever? It's like, no, it's all bullshit. Like you'll learn it as you go, fake it till you make it. And like we all are freaking superheroes, super sheroes, as Brendan said, like we're all ancient beings here. We've lived multiple lifetimes, who knows where, but at least the energy in our body has lived for millions of years. So like we can do this shit. Like it's really not that hard. So if there's anything I want to impart, it's just like you can do it. You're fucking awesome. Like stop doubting yourself, and like the world fucking needs us to step up. Like we've all got to like hold our little baton and be like, yo, I'm gonna like hold down my little area, and I'm at least gonna like show up in some kind of way. If you just keep showing up and giving like your piece of the puzzle, the universe will fucking support you. Like Terrence McKenna says that nature loves courage. Like you gotta like show that you're gonna like take risks and be courageous, and like the magic will happen. Just trust that like you really do create ripples with everything you do. So if you do it intentionally, then it's gonna come back in a good way. So happy Thursday.
You're just like, yo, this is exciting, because there's actually, it's showing that like the collective consciousness is waking up here. What we sort of think of as like the mainstream and things like that, and yet things that we have been familiar with for over a decade now, other people are starting to kind of like get hints at. They're starting to figure it out. So I think there was a lot of hope that was very uplifting to be able to share through that. So
I just want to say, like, I always do my yoga in public parks and stuff. Yesterday I was doing yoga in the park, and a whole bus of school children come by, and they're like stopped at the stop sign. They're like, hey, are you doing yoga? And I was like, yeah. And they're all like, yeah, yoga man. And they're like, they go around the corner. They go around the corner. They're like driving away, and they're like yelling like, yoga man.
That's awesome. Getting them hyped.
They're probably like fourth grade,
That's
like
so
yoga
cool.
used to be like this crazy thing that nobody knew about.
There you go. Right? Yeah. The kids are waking up.
Up and roll, but just wanted to say real quick, thank you, Brendan. Super, super grateful for you continuing this platform and reaching out to us, because this was inspiring for a lot of people. I'm looking at the comments on the YouTube video, and it feels like we engaged a lot of people, and a lot more people are going to see this. So grateful for the outlet to spread the word.
So again, Philo, any closing words, and I'll just mention where people can connect with you on Instagram and all that. So
yeah, so on Facebook I'm Philo Lila. Feel free to hit me up. I also like to make YouTube videos, so you can check out. Got like over 500 videos over the last 9 years on there. Travels around the world and whatnot. I love jokes, so feel free to send me any jokes as long as they're PG-13 and puns that give you bonus points. And yeah, Team Pachamama is the movement that I helped co-create here, and we've got a Facebook page that posts a lot of inspiring videos and music and whatnot. And just keep showing up, people watching this. Step your game up. We're all stepping our game up, and everything's flowing. So happy Thursday.
awesome. Happy Thursday, brother. Thank you once again.